Are you struggling with feeling stuck in your life journey? Does it seem as if the challenges or conflicts that you keep experiencing are on repeat? Healing through feeling could be your new way through to a more satisfying life. Now, here is the host of the Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show, licensed marriage and family therapist and life guide, Sharyn Nichols.
Welcome, everyone, to today's show. It is about throwing away your label maker. I am Sharyn Nichols, and you're listening to the Feel to Heal show on the Incredible Inspired Choices Network. And I am so excited to be here today and talk about labels. I have been labeling myself my entire life. Everyone else has labeled me my entire life. Does that sound familiar to anyone? Have you also been labeling yourself? So, as you know, I'm a marriage and family therapist and a life guide, and I am an incredible coach. I love to hold up that mirror for you and give you a different perspective on the things that are weighing you down in your head, all these labels that you have put on yourself, another way perhaps of looking at things. So, today's topic is labels. And I have so much to say that I honestly don't even know where to begin. It has been working me all week long, this topic. I've been feeling good about myself with the positive labels that I give myself, and then all the negative labels, and then even, the things that I labeled myself or was labeled as a child. And now here we are today to talk about labels. So, let's start with a short meditation because I know I need this right now to bring me back into center so I can just go on and on and on about the labels. So let's all receive a breath and allow our eyes to close if it is safe to do so. Because sometimes negative energy can build up inside of you. Maybe you're feeling anxious, stressed, or angry. And you may embody that stress and your body tightens up. So when you feel this way, it's helpful to release these emotions just like a pressure valve letting off steam. I love when I use my pressure cooker and I see, and I undo it and the steam comes flying out. So you get to start by setting your intention. And I need to also add that this is the letting go meditation by Sober Girl Mama. I just think that's great. I want to support her in everything. Sober Girl Mama. So start by setting your intention. Allow yourself to be open to the process. There's nothing that you need to force. Allow whatever arises to bubble up, knowing that it will be released. Let's take a few deep breaths in and out. Bringing your awareness to your breath. Inhaling fully and then exhale slowly and gently. Doing this several times and noticing how your chest rises and falls. Recognizing all the emotions that you're feeling. You do not need to do anything with them. Just be aware. It can be helpful if you can name them. Is there a particular spot in your body where you feel these emotions? Maybe your stomach is in knots, or your shoulders are tense, or your chest feels tight, or you feel a huge lump in your throat. Instead of trying to push the feelings away, allow them to just pass through you. Embody them and let them go. Simply noticing how you feel without judgment or attachment. Breathe deeply in through your nose and exhale out of your mouth. Let the emotions flow from your body into the air you are breathing out, as if they are being released into a vessel that will carry them away from you. Imagine that your emotions are a tight ball. Let the ball begin to spread through your body. As the ball spreads, it begins to dissipate. The emotions begin to melt away. You are breathing in peace and breathing out negative emotions. With every inhale, you feel calmer. With every exhale, you feel the emotions less. It may help to imagine your feelings as a cloud. As you continue to breathe in and out, the cloud begins to disappear. Watch it float away. Now you are at rest, both in mind and body. You can think clearly, and your muscles are relaxed. Your emotions aren't controlling you. Your mind isn't racing. Enjoy this relief for a few moments. Inhaling and exhaling. Noticing how your situation has seemed to change now that you can think clearly again without stressful, negative emotions. Whenever negative emotions begin to build in you, use this process to release them. And when you're ready, allow your eyes to open and come back into your space, into your room, wherever you are. Bringing your attention back to your surroundings. And I will leave you with this mantra. I am calm and peaceful. Anytime you need to come back to this, I am calm, I am peaceful. Thank you once again for choosing to tune in to the Feel to Heal show with myself, Sharyn Nichols. And we just did an incredible calming, releasing, letting go meditation. Have you noticed that that's what most meditations are? It's about moving you from one place where you seem to be all in your mind's eye to just move through you and just releasing and letting go. Because these negative emotions, these negative thoughts, they just don't serve you. So let's start talking about labels. Why I chose this topic. I chose this topic for so many reasons, except the first one and the biggest one is that I am so tired of being labeled, and I am so tired of labeling others, and I am so tired of labeling myself. There were so many things that as I was going through all of my notes and all of my research, I wasn't really sure where I wanted to start. So, as usual, I'm going to start in the middle because that's usually the best place for me. I have found that I will label myself in a positive way, that starting from the middle allows me then to go back and start from the beginning. And then it usually gives me the best opening to a conclusion. So we are born with labels. The moment we come out, we're labeled. In fact, we're given an APGAR score, which is how much color we have, how quick we are to respond to the outside stimuli. So the moment we enter the planet, we're labeled. And so now labeling is a positive thing because it's important that we are given some sort of a structure with which to put ourselves in and a way for us to communicate. And so the doctors label you with this APGAR score. So another doctor or a nurse knows then what to do and what's necessary, what's needed in order to help you continue to take the next breaths of your life. Labeling. It becomes a part then of our belief system. We then sometimes we're stuck with labels, self-imposed labels, and then the labels that we are given. And definition. Labeling is to attach a label to something, assign to a category, especially inaccurately or restrictively. I loved that definition. How many times have you inaccurately been labeled? And how many times has it then restricted you? So yes, I know I'm only talking about the negative ones. Although you've been labeled, I'm assuming, some good labels. You're a do-gooder. You're kind. You're nice. You're benevolent. You're empathetic. You're sympathetic. All of these are wonderful and nice labels. Although then if you take them on, it could be then the belief that this is all you can be. And what if you weren't nice? Because sometimes we're not nice. Sometimes we're really mean. We're even cruel. And we don't always intend that to be, although we're human and we're all along a spectrum, always, in all ways, in every moment, from moment to moment. So to label yourself as one thing means that, does that mean that that's who you are and the way that you are always? It's sort of an impossibility. One of the readings that I read was, I'm going to come back to that because this is a big point and we're about to go and take a break, and I really want to spend more time on the labels that we give to ourselves and how damaging it could be, and then what it actually means. So Thank you so much for tuning into the first segment. We did an incredible meditation and started talking about labeling. And the moment we are born, we are labeled. So I'll see you back after the short break and looking forward to talking more about labels.
At different times on our life journey, we can feel stuck and struggle with seeing our way through. What if the answer to the struggle is just to go deeper than the surface? By tuning in to Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show, with licensed marriage and family therapist and life guide Sharyn Nichols, you'll receive insight and guidance on exploring your feelings in order to heal yourself. Are you ready to create a more satisfying, peaceful, and successful life? Listen for the Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show every Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Mountain, and 3 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email become a host at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show, with licensed marriage and family therapist and life guide Sharyn Nichols. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also ask questions or comments by email by sending to Sharyn Nichols at feeltoheal.com. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, and thank you so much for tuning in to the Feel to Heal show with myself, Sharyn Nichols. And please reach out. I would love your comments. You can find me at feeltoheal.com. It's my website. And please email me, Sharyn Nichols at feeltoheal.com. I welcome all comments, positive, negative, and anywhere in between on the spectrum. Please label me. I want to be labeled. I want to know that I'm good. I want to know what I can do to change. Please label me. Give me some sort of feedback in some way. See, because it can be positive. Labels can be positive. Labels can be helpful. So the human mind is incredible. We love labels. Our brain needs them. It's important to have them. As I just mentioned, please, my mind needs for some feedback so I can know what direction to go in, what I am actually doing right or correct, or what I'm doing wrong and where I can improve, because it's all about being in the present moment. And then hindsight being 2020. Okay. I mean, that's why we set goals and we work towards our goals and then setting them. And then we look back and we see what's worked and what hasn't worked. So for me to label myself a failure, does that mean if I am a failure, does that mean I'm a failure every single moment? It's sort of an impossibility. It is just impossible for me to fail at everything, because when I'm in the shower, I'm not failing at taking a shower. When I'm having a conversation, I'm not failing at communicating what I need or what someone else needs. I'm just doing it in my own way. And so for someone to think that for me to label myself as a failure, I can't be a failure every single moment of every single goddamn day. It's just an impossibility. So I've labeled myself a procrastinator. And so the example that I was going to share with you is that if I'm a procrastinator, how can I be a procrastinator if I decide to go and play golf? I'm now a golfer. I'm not a procrastinator. So we have all of these labels that we need. We need to label because it's actually then how we join each other. So, there was a famous study done in 1970, and it was the labeling theory in a class divided experiment. And the labeling theory says that individuals come to recognize and carry on in manners that reflect how others label them. So this theory is connected to the human science of wrongdoing. So naming, see, it's wrongdoing. Labeling is wrongdoing. Naming and regarding somebody as criminally degenerate can cultivate deviant conduct. Well, we've heard that. We've heard that, criminals who are labeled criminals will then believe that that's all that they can be. So that's why the recidivism rate in our jails and prisons is that, because they've been labeled a criminal. Although the whole point, I thought, of our legal justice jail system was, okay, you take responsibility for your actions, and then you are given the opportunity to rehabilitate. However, once you come out, you're still labeled. Oy. That's just all I have to say to that, is just oy. So these kids were given this opportunity to, as a part of this experiment, to be put into two different groups, light eyes and dark eyes. So blue eyes and brown eyes. And just that. And then they were given these parameters as to the blue-eyed people were dumb and they didn't behave well and they got bad grades. And then she told her class, this teacher, that the brown-eyed people are better than the blue-eyed people. So the dark-eyed people got better grades and they were just smarter. And you can imagine then what happened over the course of the week. She continued to enforce the ideas, and then the students with the blue eyes started to behave worse. Their scores went down. And then some of the children got into fights on the playground. However, the very next week, she told her third grade class, by the way, I apologize, I did not say how old they were, so about 8, 9 years old. She told them that she made a mistake. And that actually it was not the dark-eyed people that were good. They were the ones that could not do well in school, could not listen, and were not well behaved. So in reality, the blue-eyed people were better. So then she noticed the same pattern the next week. Now, the dark-eyed children were having lower test scores than the blue-eyed children, and they then improved. And so once the 2 weeks were over, she then explained to her class that it was all just a test and that everyone was now to be friends and treated the same way, because it didn't matter what color your eyes were. You were still your own human. Now, these are my words. You are still your own person, and you got to decide. And that labeling yourself was a pigeonhole. And so you can just imagine, I would love if there was a follow-up with these students. I should look into that. I did not do that, and I will, because I would love to see how this affected them for the rest of their lives. If they then looked at labeling in a completely different way, if they thought of themselves as being able to then now do anything because they experienced both ends of the spectrum, and just because of the suggestion of the label. See, that's all that labels are a suggestion when it comes to something like this. So now I need to go on my little rant about being a therapist and labeling. This is fun. Actually, I didn't even look into this. I did not read up on any of this, the psychological labels. I try not to. I don't label unless I have to because someone wants a super bill for their insurance. Other than that, there's really truly no point, because we all have aspects of all of the disorders and the pathologies, because we're all human. Some of us perhaps have it more severe than others, and some have it less. Again, it's all along the spectrum, So where are you? And so if you label yourself all the way on this end, okay, I mean, yes, I know I have ADD, but I don't always have ADD. It's not the thing that I lead with. I get to use it sometimes as an excuse, or I just get to be aware of it and know that it's something that I have. And so therefore, then I now have a choice. I guess it still always comes back to a choice. Am I going to continue to use it as a label, or am I going to start to work with it? So since I know that sometimes I'm overstimulated, I will, before each and every show, clear off my desk. So I don't have the squirrel syndrome. I just get to be. I just get to be myself with all of my labels. So I did write out all of my labels. And I want to read you my list because some of them, I think, are quite hysterical. So I wrote, here are some of my labels. I'm female. I'm blonde. I'm cute. I'm funny. I'm fat. I'm thin. I'm smart. I'm stupid. I'm a procrastinator, a mother, a friend, a lover, a former wife, a former girlfriend. Mean, nice, empathetic, sympathetic, messy, clean, anal, creative, a go-getter, lazy, on top of things, get shit done, a good mother, a bad mother. I'm all of those things at all different times. And yet, I can't be all of them all at once. It's impossible. So I'm just going to breathe for a moment because it's all just been flooding me all week long, all these labels, and how I'm so tired of them. I'm so tired of being labeled, even the good ones, because I can't always be good. And I can't always be bad. I'm all of those things. And I just want to be me. I just want to be whole. I want to be accepted for all of my labels. And it's funny, I left out the biggest one that I was labeled with as a child, selfish. And I know I did a whole show on being a narcissist and the difference between narcissism, narcissistic personality disorder, and being selfish. I spent a lot of time with that label. I did a lot of work around it. I had so many mentors who had me meditate on it. I did a lot of writing on it. And it was one that I needed to truly let go because it was one that I took on and believed and then did everything I possibly could to overcompensate because that was the label that was given to me. One that I didn't take on for myself because I was told I was selfish one time. Remember, that's all that it takes. So I no longer believe that I am selfish. I unwound that. Do I have moments where, yes, I think about myself? Absolutely. Does that make me selfish? No. It means I'm human. And I am allowed to put on my oxygen mask first. So when we come back from break, because we're going to take a short one, we're going to talk more about this labeling thing. And thank you so much for tuning in to the Feel to Heal show, because it only takes one time to label yourself. So come right back. We will be right back. Listening to the Feel to Heal show with myself, Sharyn Nichols, on the Inspired Choices Network. And I look forward to having you come back in just a moment.
At different times on our life journey, we can feel stuck and struggle with seeing our way through. What if the answer to the struggle is just to go deeper than the surface? By tuning in to Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show, with licensed marriage and family therapist and life guide Sharyn Nichols, you'll receive insight and guidance on exploring your feelings in order to heal yourself. Are you ready to create a more satisfying, peaceful, and successful life? Listen for the Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show every Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Mountain, and 3 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show, with licensed marriage and family therapist and life guide Sharyn Nichols. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also ask questions or comments by email by sending to Sharyn Nichols at feeltoheal.com. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, and thank you so much for tuning in to the Feel to Heal show with myself, Sharyn Nichols. And today's topic is labeling. I just keep exhaling because this topic has just worked me all week long. And I can't seem to get away from all of the labels that I've put on myself, that I've allowed others to put on me. And creating labels, I mean, it is so simple, and it's really sad how we torture ourselves with these labels that we give ourselves. And then we can't seem to get out of our own way. Defining ourselves by labels without even proof or without consideration. Just because somebody says it one time, we then take it on. Because it's then about giving up your own power and your own authority to those around you. So it's about, considering the source as to where the label comes from. That's why, as a therapist, I have such a hard time labeling people because, my therapist thinks that, or my therapist said I was fill in the blank. And then I don't want my clients to take that and run with it. I want them to debate me. I want them to be like, wait a second, where's your proof in that? Or yes, you know what? That's exactly where I am right here, right now, at this exact moment. Yes, it's true. In the moment, this is where I am. Although once I walk out the door, I'm not that anymore. I'm now something else. Because as each moment arises, as each different experience that you have, you then have a choice as to how you are going to be. So part of the labeling also is to do with your filter, the executive reasoning and functioning. So if your filter is you're selfish, you're going to run everything, every experience through that. And then you're going to question all of your judgments and how you show up and every word that comes out of your mouth. Oh my God, it's just so fucking exhausting. So can we please throw away the label maker? Seriously, people, it's not helpful because even the positive labels, you can't be all the time. So if you label yourself as someone who always gives in, who never succeeds, as someone who misses everything and always binges when stressed, here's what ends up happening. You get to create a self-fulfilling prophecy. Now, I know I talked about fears becoming self-fulfilling prophecies. Your thoughts become then self-fulfilling prophecies. All of the negative things. So it's not even so much now a fear, it's how you've labeled yourself. Please, let's only uphold positive self-fulfilling prophecies. So it's about setting a goal, and then it's about enjoying the journey on the way to the goal, knowing that there's going to be ups and downs, that there's going to be little hills and little valleys, not this choppiness. But here's the big thing. There's always going to be movement. Nothing is ever stagnant. There is stability in change. Everything is always changing for you, not to you, for you. In every experience, in every conversation, there's an aha. There's always a moment. There's always a choice. So put down the label maker. That's the choice. Because in this moment, you are fill in the blank. And then in the next moment, you're something else. So you can't still be what you were in the previous moment. You get to choose to be something different. So I know I've mentioned before that I allow myself, I give myself those spaces, those moments where I just get to be, I get to be bad, I get to be stupid, I get to be selfish, I get to be mean, I get to be cruel for the moment, and especially to myself. So why do we need to categorize ourselves and others? Because as I think I've mentioned, labels can be very stifling and very limiting, like your beliefs. Labels then become limiting belief systems. And a belief system is an ideology or a set of principles that help us to interpret everyday reality, our everyday reality. And this could be in the form of a religion, political affiliation, philosophy, or spirituality, among other things. It's these beliefs, which were once labels, because as I know I've mentioned before, our labels become beliefs about ourselves. And then we start looking for the evidence to prove them right, or to prove them wrong, depending on what it is, depending on where you are, depending on what your mind is doing to you. So for those of you who can't see me, I'm actually holding my head. Because it's exhausting, people. Aren't you exhausted? I know I am. That's what this week did to me. This week exhausted me. I have had multiple conversations with multiple people about all different things. And in each and every conversation, I showed up in the present moment thinking, wow, what am I labeling myself now? What are they labeling me in the moment? And then where am I in the whole spectrum? Am I going to take this on? Is this who I am all the time? No, again, it's an impossibility. You know, course of the week, I have multiple children, and in this course of the week, I have uplifted them all. I've done things right. And then I've also let them down, and I've done things wrong. I've said things wrong. I have I've communicated inefficiently in the moment. I've taken a break. I haven't. I've done all the things that I do as a human being. And I have to be okay with that. Because they have their own set of labels. They have their own set of beliefs about themselves. And as their mother, I want nothing more than for them to think that they are just the most incredible people at all times. Except here's the thing. I know they're human. So therefore, they can't possibly think that they are perfect all the time, because you can't have one without the other. You need the imperfection in order to have the perfection. Oh my gosh, that's what I wanted to start off this whole talk, this whole show. My first class in psychology at getting my master's, I know I've brought it up before because it's still all about the labeling. My professor wrote on the board, abnormal, normal. And he said, you can't have one without the other. And who's to say what is what? Who's to say? Where is it? Who's the governing body? I'm going to say that it's you. You're the authority of you. So when you get labeled, check in. It may be true in the moment. Sure, you may actually be that way in the moment. Although it's not who you are all the time. Because yes, you know what? I do have blonde hair. I don't always have blonde hair. I can make my hair brown or black or purple or green. And then I would not describe myself as a blonde. So therefore then, I'm not always a blonde. Please allow yourself to be who you are in the moment. Cut yourself a break. And then decide in the next moment whether you want to continue to be that label or not. It keeps coming down to being so simple. It really is. And I'm assuming that there's the label of life needs to be difficult. Unless it's hard won, it's not worth it. Ha ha, another fucking label. The hard way or the easy way. I mean, I'm assuming that someone you know has been labeled, oh, they're so lucky. Everything always happens for them. Although I have a feeling if you started looking, or if they started looking, you'd find where maybe they weren't so lucky. Because shit happens to all of us. And amazing, incredible things happen to all of us also. It's where you place your attention that gets amplified. So please, let's start looking for all of the positive. All the positiveness, all the positive energy. I know in the beginning, our meditation was about releasing and letting go of all the negative. So once you let go of all the negative, you have to fill it with the positive. But it's not about it's not about being egoic. It's just about acknowledging where you are and giving yourself permission to just fucking be. So as we go into our last break, just keep breathing. I know I am. I know I'm getting all worked up and I'm getting I'm feeling very passionate about this because I am just so tired of it. It's exhausting me. And I just want to put down my label maker, my personal one, because it's not serving me anymore. So thank you so much for tuning in. to the Feel to Heal show with myself, Sharyn Nichols, on the Incredible Inspired Choices Network. This has been so wonderful and amazing. And I look forward to you coming back after the next break or after this break. I'll see you back in a minute.
At different times on our life journey, we can feel stuck and struggle with seeing our way through. What if the answer to the struggle is just to go deeper than the surface? By tuning in to Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show, with licensed marriage and family therapist and life guide Sharyn Nichols, you'll receive insight and guidance on exploring your feelings in order to heal yourself. Are you ready to create a more satisfying, peaceful, and successful life? Listen for the Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show every Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Mountain, and 3 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. This is Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show with licensed marriage and family therapist and life guide Sharyn Nichols. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also ask questions or comments by email by sending to Sharyn Nichols at feeltoheal.com. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Feel to Heal show with myself, Sharyn Nichols, and we are talking about labeling. And I've had been this huge well of emotion because I've been labeling myself throughout the entire show. And I just had someone put into the chat a label for me: wisdom, goddess, chair, dancer. And you know what? That's what I am right now, currently, in this exact moment. I am a wisdom, goddess, chair, dancer. Because for those of you who don't see me, I dance on every one of the breaks because I'm all about movement. I'm all about releasing and letting go. And so I'm okay with this label for the moment, because once the show ends, I stop being a chair dancer because I'm not always sitting. So let's talk about labeling as we do with ourselves and how we self-bully. I know I've been talking on and on about how I beat myself up by allowing others to label me and taking it long term and making it a whole belief system. So first and foremost, notice your labels. Notice, pay attention to the words that you use to describe yourself. And then also be aware of how you're labeling others, either out loud or even in your head, because they are self-limiting. And they're limiting beliefs for others and then self-limiting for yourself. And here's one that I love, and I am now putting this out there to all of you. If you hear me labeling myself, please call me out on it. Because again, like I said, I want to put this label maker down. I am so tired. I'm so tired of how I feel based on my limiting beliefs within myself. So focus more on understanding why and when you tend to label yourself. So do you use them as a way to punish or reward yourself? So which emotions do you have that spark more labeling? So for sure, I'm labeling myself, and I started labeling myself from the very beginning, from my very first show. I labeled myself as I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm stupid. I'm not prepared. I can go on. And I've worked to myself to overcome those labels, those limiting beliefs. Because in each and every moment, if I just brought myself back to the present in the very beginning, when I started my show, when I started the podcast, when I started this production, when I just started speaking from my heart and not my head. That was the problem. I was talking from my head. I thought all the answers were in my head. And now here today, I truly believe that all of it is coming from my heart and no longer my head. So don't become an adjective. As you become more aware of how you label yourself, avoid turning events into an adjective. And so then therefore don't let something or even someone else define you. So if you lose a match or you lose something, don't call yourself a loser. Say, I'm not a loser. I just lost this match. Because, if you're playing tennis, I get that was a thought. It was tennis all for the past 2 weeks. So I had tennis on the brain. You just lost a match. It's singular. It's just a one-time thing. It doesn't mean that you're going to lose every single fucking time. Please don't let labels define you. Because here's the thing. You're going to make mistakes. You're not going to always get everything right. And here's the thing. You may also get a lot of things right. So just know that you've got this. And so now I'm going to label you as someone who goes with the flow, who allows themselves the ups and the downs, and allows themselves to be, from moment to moment, an ever-changing human being. Every emotion, the full spectrum, you will experience for sure throughout your lifetime, if not throughout the course of the day, even in one minute, because I guess 1 minute is made up of moments to moments. I guess some moments could be seconds, some moments could be minutes. I apologize, just first coming out, again, not in my head, coming from here. Put your label maker down and just allow yourself to be who you are in each and every moment, and embrace that and be okay with that, because you're not ever one thing always. So thank you so much for tuning in and today and talking about labels. And next week's show is about having a little compassion. What is compassion? Do you even know if you're actually practicing it? And how has compassion showed up for you? Do you have compassion for yourself? Join me next week as we talk about compassion and the allowing. And so I'm going to say to have some compassion for yourself and putting down your label maker. And thank you so much for tuning in to this week's show. I'm Sharyn Nichols, Life and Marriage. I'm a life guide, a marriage and family therapist. And I just want you all to know that you are whole and complete as you are, and that there's nothing that needs to be fixed. You are not broken. So you might as well be you, because everyone else is taken. And allow yourself to just be you. Thank you so much. See you all back here next week. Take care.
Thank you for choosing to listen to the Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show. Sharyn Nichols will return next Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Mountain, and 3 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. We hope you'll join us. Until then, Give up the struggle, feel all you need to feel, and make this week your best one yet.